welcome.
Thanks.
How about a drink?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, Rachel, we always start with a drink, and I know that typically your go-to is Malbec,
Yes.
but today, what are we going with?
Today I'm going with the Jasmine Rose Kombucha, please.
Jasmine Rose Kombucha. That's a great choice. I think I'll join you. What's with the mix-up today?
Well, I'm pregnant.
Yay! Congratulations, friend.
Thank you.
We will drink kombucha to that.
They're so good too. So
They're delicious.
thank you.
You're very welcome. So, number 2.
Number 2.
It's so exciting.
Yes, it is.
So you had Gemma has been with us all year here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been so much fun
Mm-hmm.
to watch her grow up in the studio.
We've had a lot of fun running around all the different stages. Her little baby and a bigger baby, sitting up, crawling, now walking. It's been
Went from
crazy.
like the playpen to the octagon.
Yep.
So now she has her own couch.
Yes.
That's really great. Awesome. Well, cheers, friends.
Cheers.
All right. So we're going to dive right in. First question, townie or transplant?
Townie, born and raised.
Awesome. Where'd you go to? Grade school, middle school, high school?
Mountain View Elementary, Challenger Middle School, and Pine Creek High School.
Okay, maybe one of the biggest questions. It is two-parter.
Okay.
When did art find you, and when did you start to pursue it?
I've been doing art since I was little, doing all my finger paints. I would draw my Beanie Babies. I would draw my snack packages, anything I saw I was drawing. So it started just from forever ago. And then in middle school, high school, I took as many art classes as I could. I would take summer classes sometimes just so I could take art classes during the school year. Then went to college for a year to pursue science.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have an art program. Found out I needed it to do art and switched to art school, and have been just following it ever since.
Where was art school?
Temple University,
Okay.
Tyler School of Art,
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. And you did a stint overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a campus in Rome. So I ended up doing 3 semesters abroad at their campus in Rome, which was fabulous.
Yeah.
And, so filled with art. It was
Special
really amazing.
experience. Yeah.
Yes, fantastic.
Blown away.
Oh, it was amazing. Amazing.
That's awesome
Yeah,
that you
super
got to
inspiring
experience
being
that.
there. Yeah.
It's I think like so many people's dream path, we're gonna go anywhere there's an elsewhere, that's like the
Yes.
dream.
Yes.
But especially for an art world, if you're in Europe, that's a pretty special bucket list. to
Yeah,
get to.
yeah, it just worked out well, and the campus there was specifically tailored to art, so I could, pursue all my major courses there. Had my professors from Philadelphia, had my professors in Rome, there at the same time, so it didn't set me behind like it does for many people, which is really lucky.
Yeah. And so graduated college
Mhm.
when
2015.
2015, and I've been full steam ahead with art.
So after college, I mainly was focusing on graphic design.
Okay.
Doing freelance, a little bit of office corporate stuff, but mostly freelance work. And then at a certain point, I just decided I needed to spend more time with art, especially knowing I wanted to become a mother at some point and knew that would take up a lot of time. So I just dove into that when that was possible for us, and it's been great, challenging,
Yeah.
fun, but it's been good.
Well, you're doing a great job juggling.
Thank you. It's tough.
It really is
Tough.
so much joy. I know shortly after we opened, and you would have Gemma in there. She's back there with her favorite word. Yeah. And sometimes she's getting louder, and we'd start to hear the door like slide shut. We're like, no, leave it open. Leave it open. We love the voice. Yeah. Every artist has a style, a medium, direction. How would you describe your voice? Start with your medium, and then like, what are you trying to say with your art?
So right now, if you've ever been in my studio, there's two separate sides, very different. A lot of people don't even think it's the same artist. But I'm pursuing two different things. So one is very minimalistic, geometric abstraction,
Mhm.
with really flat colors. I'm using mostly triangle shapes, and it's really focused on composition and color schemes and color patterns and all that. Then on the other side, I have more impressionistic realism paintings that are all focused on ski slopes of Colorado. Um, and so those completely different. They're focused on portraying a beautiful scene and, kind of capturing memories that people have being in those places and kind of evoking those nostalgic feelings.
Yeah.
So
They
two
do that.
different things. But it helps me balance. They're two separate avenues for my artistic thinking.
Yeah. When you say separate, if people watching don't know you, we're talking separate. I
Yes,
mean, they're
they're very separate.
completely different. Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't think because the geometric abstract landscapes that you do are they're very digital looking by nature. And I don't think people, I talked to a couple, I talked to Ortiz a lot about this, but I don't think people understand how difficult that is to do.
Oh,
Like, I would
absolutely.
rather paint 10 paintings than do one straight line, like one of
Absolutely.
those triangles. Yeah.
Well,
To keep it as clean and smooth and
right.
brushstrokeless.
Exactly.
It's so challenging.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's, I have to get really obsessive over, making sure each layer,
Mm.
like starting from the gesso I lay down, is really smooth. Um, and then each section of taped off area that I do with the color, making sure it's really flat and smooth and not getting like, with acrylic paint, it can kind of get the brush strokes if it's too thick and everything, which I'm trying not to do. So just trying to get that illusion of really flat
Mhm.
is a challenge. And it has been especially a challenge working that way since having a baby
Oh,
and
yeah.
having her in here. So that's been kind of a shift as well. When I'm constantly having to turn around or
Yeah.
check, do this, or I can't be in the middle of a wash.
Yeah.
It's like so
Again, something that I don't think the viewer would understand. Like you could, on one side of the room, you could be working on a mountain scene that is pretty realistic. I mean, very realistic. And then on the other side, working on some of this, but you can bounce back and forth from
oh
this
yeah,
side and come in and out. This, like you're dedicated. You don't have to, you cannot
right.
step away.
Yeah, it's really
And it
precise.
seems like it might be the opposite because this seems
Right.
like it's just so clean and again, I just don't think people know what goes
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah, it is interesting.
You took a little bit of a detour
I did.
exploration this year. Can you talk to us
I
about that,
did.
your solo show?
So I had an opportunity at Art Gallery last month to have a show, and um, I wanted to do something different than what I was doing and kind of have it meet in the middle between my, flat acrylic geometric paintings and my realism paintings. So I wanted to do something that, first of all, was abstract.
Yep.
That had some sort of pattern and repetition to it, but that also used some sort of a real life reference, specifically a texture.
Yep.
So I was thinking, maybe something from like building materials, bricks, concrete, wood, but it just didn't sound super fun, I guess. It sounded
Yeah.
interesting, but not like fun.
Yeah.
And I was, spending a lot of time caring for my baby, and I just, getting a little bit nostalgic, thinking about my own childhood,
Sure,
thinking about
yeah.
the things that are always make me happy, that are always fun. And ice cream popped into my head.
What else?
Like,
What makes us happy? It's ice cream. Yes.
I love ice cream. Everyone loves ice cream. Um, So I use the texture of ice cream and scoops of ice cream, and I started playing around with making them into patterns and mirror images, and I ended up doing a kaleidoscope
Which is brilliant.
images.
Yeah.
And they turned out really really interesting. It's kind of like there's so much imagery that came about in these mirror-like things that I never expected, which was really exciting. And it was a great detour and something I could do with the baby again.
Yeah.
That was an oil paint that I could do a little bit, go back to my baby, do a little bit, change it up, not get too caught up in like, oh my gosh, this needs to look exactly like this scoop of ice cream. It's more letting it be a painting, and like if this needs little work, I do here. If this section needs work, I do that, and not getting caught up in doing, every single detail as I see like in my reference. So
You make it sound a lot simpler than I mean, first of all, I'm so glad you took a detour. I'm glad you explored that. It was a joy to watch. And I mean, mission accomplished, my friend.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
it
you.
was a great show. And the kaleidoscope, it was just, I mean, just spot on. It was a really great um,
Thank
way to
you.
represent something that you love and make it even more dynamic and even more nostalgic with
Yes.
ice cream and kaleidoscope. It was great.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
really happy with it.
Yeah,
So
well done.
thank you.
Who or what inspires you as an artist?
I would definitely say being around other artists and being around just genuine creative people,
Yeah.
and not people who are, too focused on end results, or um, I always find it refreshing when people are creating just for the love of creating and not getting too swept up in um, making things that they think people want to see.
Oh, yeah. Becca Day
Um,
is a great person to talk to about that. She
yeah,
talk all day about just
I'll have to talk to
just
her.
the doing.
Yes, yeah. So that's huge. And then secondly, uh, maybe a little cliche, but just the grandeur of different spaces. So mountain vistas,
Yeah.
but also really dense city vistas, turning a corner and like boom,
Yeah.
like seeing these different, really big perspectives. I find it really humbling and inspiring.
Yeah.
And I just love like, the environmental aspect and places and all that versus people. Not a people person. I'm an introvert. But so that kind of carries through in my work too with my abstract landscapes. They're kind of some people see mountains, some people see trees, some people see architecture. So it's kind of capturing all those feelings that I like. And then of course the snowy mountain vistas are
Your home.
yeah,
Your happy place.
exactly.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of the creative process? What is your least favorite? Because you do it all.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know about
just well, I mean, no. I mean, you mix your paint, you stretch your canvas, you build your frames,
Right.
you do a lot, and
Right.
and many artists do that, but not as many as you think.
Yeah.
I'm not. I stretched canvas one time with the help of my wife, and we're done.
We need to get you back into it. Anyway, um, for that question or two questions, I think I have the same answer for
Okay.
both. And it's that, when I'm painting or designing a painting and figuring it out, kind of the unexpected things that arise, or unintended things, certain colors together, or, I was just kind of doing a texture over here to fill in space for a while, worked over here, and then decided to keep that because it looked really nice.
Yeah.
That can be really fun
Yeah.
and, exciting and inspiring. But it also can be really annoying and bad when it turns the opposite way and you think like, oh, this will, these two colors are going to go great together. I've got them here. And then, get them down and it's like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, terrible. So it's a learning process, with painting, that not everything good comes from plans. Like, you kind of have to let it happen as you go and be open to mistakes that end up not being mistakes, and learning how to pivot and embrace just what starts happening on the canvas.
I think that's interesting, you saying that, because, um, if it's an artist that's just doing abstraction, or an artist that's, um, I will take a photo and paint from that, but it's very loose and, kind of uh, welcomes some
Yes.
ad lib,
Yes.
So for you, that is actually like working straight from a photo, or
Right.
a design that you've created to hear, for people to hear you say, like, there's still some uh, exploration in that.
Yes,
And still a little
absolutely.
bit of ad lib in that. Still, there's planning, but there's still some looseness in there too. It's really
Exactly.
interesting, because you wouldn't see, like, that's not what you would take from just looking at.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
no, this
yeah,
is
it's pretty precise
planned.
in
This is
different
very
ways,
precise.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think that's part of what, is so exciting about, um, what we get to do, is that it's not quite like riding a bike.
Yeah.
It's like, even
Yeah.
if you're working at it, you're doing the same. You're putting together a body of work. You're
Right.
doing your ice cream things. You still get to a piece. And you're like, oh, I got this down, and you're like, wait,
What am I doing?
like, this is like, I don't think I've ever held a brush in my hand before.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and then there's those things that you have a plan, and you start going, and then it just kind of like takes you where it wants to take you, and you're like, that's unbelievable. But
Mhm.
you got there, you stumbled upon it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fun part about
Oh
the
yeah.
process.
Yeah. I mean, everything that's difficult and you succeed with is super fulfilling. So
Yeah, especially if you do something by accident
yes.
and you figure out
Oh my
how to
God.
do it again.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you really feel like, I might be an artist. But what are the main roadblocks or challenges for you as an artist? And if you want to, add just like collectively too, like, just roadblocks for being an artist.
Um, I mean, the most present one in my life right now, of course, is children and babies.
Yeah, time.
Time is very precious.
Yeah.
Time and energy.
And it's not your own.
No.
You can't schedule it, really.
No, and just kind of rolling with things
Yeah.
and giving myself grace, and taking the time that I do have and doing what I can. And I don't have, nowadays when I get in the studio, it's not, okay, I'm going to finish this painting or I'm going to finish this section today, because it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
With my days now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know what, I'm going to spend time on this. And it's been progressively more focused on trying to capture more quickly, and saying, okay, I'm here. And maybe I'll be painting for 5 minutes. Maybe I'll be painting for 30 minutes. Um, what can I do to make the painting as good as I can in those 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And then if I have more time, okay, now what do I focus on? And doing that.
It's such a great example. And over the years, whether I'm talking to somebody about their creative process, or they're wanting to start a business, or whatever their big dream is, I think so often, um, the the grandeur of our dream prevents us from doing anything. And so that's always been my advice for people, is like, okay, this is what you want to do. What part of that can you do right
Right.
now? Because we have this really perverted, um, paralyzing, all or nothing
Absolutely.
mentality. So I really love that, like, you're giving yourself grace, but you're also like a great example of like, okay, I got 5 minutes here, and I planned a chunk of time here, but you know what? We're reading to Gemma
Yes.
for the whole lot of it, and then we're gonna go back home.
Yeah.
So, but you've really cranked out some incredible work this year, and, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, well
thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But
It just gets easier with more children.
yeah,
I've heard.
I've heard so.
We're in your corner. We love you. It's awesome. Um, okay, we just flew by it. I mean, I can talk to you for hours,
Absolutely.
but
Same.
we crushed. We crushed. So, if you tell the people again who you are and where can they find you?
Okay. Yeah. So everyone, my name is Rachel Espenlaub. You can find me here at Yobel in the Lookup Gallery in my studio down on the first floor. I'm also on Instagram. Got two of them because again, such different work. My abstract work is Rachel underscore ESP underscore. And my mountain scenes are R dot ESPEN.
I'll write this all out for everyone. I mean, usually I have like a little blooper in,
Yeah.
like at the end. This is just going to be the whole blooper reel.
Perfect.
Just you actually telling.
And then my
people who you are.
website's super easy. I don't know.
Okay,
what I
okay,
can
so
say.
let's start there.
Okay, geometric website is just rachelespenlaub.art, and my mountains are paintingsbyrachel.com. Easy.
That's awesome. Cheers, friend.
Cheers. Thanks, Clay.
Yeah.
Well, so it takes him like 20 minutes to set up, and then he said that basically he's making a 90-second video.